On this season of Destination Earth, Akane and I take to Canada's smallest province of Prince Edward Island. PEI is known for many things, including sandy beaches, red cliffs, and being a land full of potatoes. As we explore this amazing province, we'll show you everything from the main city of Charlottetown to the stunning landscapes of Prince Edward Island National Park. Where are we off to today? Let's find out. In our last video, we began by exploring the eastern section of Prince Edward Island National Park by hiking the Havre-Saint-Pierre Trail. This trail looked at the connection between the early Acadian settlers and the land. In today's video, we are hiking the second of 3 trails within Greenwich section of the national park. And we're excited to be looking at the land from a completely different perspective. So we've now made it to the second trailhead, which is the red trail called Tlactic, which is Mi'kmaq for at the campsite. The Tlactic Trail was a 4.8 kilometer or 3-mile easy rated trail. It takes you through a series of fields and along the coast. As we made our way, the slightly cool breeze from the shore cooled us on this warm summer day. Reflecting back to the fact that these grounds were once an old campsite made us think about how these lands were perfectly chosen. Many people from different cultures have lived here in this area for the better part of 10,000 years. Throughout archaeological and historical research, scientists are only now starting to uncover the stories of the past. As we continued to walk, views of St. Peter's Bay kept us company. These barren fields were once filled with the crops prior to 1980. They were filled with the crops of local farmers. Today, wild plants, shrubs, and trees start to grow alongside the once cultivated plants, such as clover and timothy. The abundant plant life has started to attract many insects, birds, and small mammals. In turn, these creatures are hunted by red fox, weasels, and various birds of prey. As you know, Akane and I love to see the local wildlife. During our last trip to Cape Breton Highlands National Park, we were fortunate enough to see a moose mother and its baby. Now, PEI doesn't have any moose, so we were curious to see what kind of animals we would find here. Based on this list, our ultimate goal was to see a fox somewhere on this trip, a sight we haven't seen anywhere else on any of the trips in our past. As we rounded the halfway point of our trek, our attention turned from the first peoples of the land to the most recent, the Acadians. French and Acadian settlers began to farm here in the 1720s when the French first arrived on the island. The ample supply of fresh water, good soil, wood for fuel and construction, in addition to the suitable grazing, made it a good area for farming. At first, the French just grew enough for their needs, but later they began to grow more and more in an effort to supply their colonial capital at Louisbourg. Around this time, the fishermen established a community across the bay called Havre-Saint-Pierre. As it was sheltered from the prevailing winds and very close to rich cod fishing in the Gulf of St. Lawrence, Havre-Saint-Pierre was considered to be one of the best bar harbors for small boats on the island's north shore. Havre-Saint-Pierre was once the most heavily populated center on the island. Most of the settlers were from France, but a small number also came from the nearby French colony of Acadie in Nova Scotia. After the British deported most of the French and Acadian inhabitants from the island in 1758, settlers from the British Isles gradually took over the land. By 1833, about 100 people, mainly from Scotland, were living along the north shores of St. Peter's Bay. Many of their descendants still live and farm the land today. Closing in on the end of the trail, we began to get a glimpse of the next hike we were taking, the Dunesland Trail. It was here that the tree-lined paths were being replaced by grasses and wide open spaces. the sturdy ground replaced by sand, and the introduction of a boardwalk, taking over sections of the trail to help protect the most vulnerable sections of the route. We welcomed this new change of scenery, as it meant we were coming to the main attraction, the 20-foot dune. With only 3 trails in this section of the park, spending a full day in Greenwich is enough time to explore the area and take in the history before moving west to other areas of the park. Join us in the next episode as we explore the Dunes Trail, the holy grail of Greenwich, as we explore one of the biggest sand dunes in all of eastern Canada.